Tonight we're fortunate to have before us some of the UK's leading retail experts. They're here to share their insights into the trends they're seeing in the sector and the challenges retail leaders face in order to survive this competitive marketplace.
I think it's incredibly tough for leaders at the moment out there, and the pace of change is unprecedented. We've never experienced it before. And I think one of the key things they need to be doing is thinking about how can they get the decision points closer to the customer.
There needs to be a certain level of authenticity that a leader in retail needs to display, a certain level of credibility. And really that's built up for me through getting different levels of experience in many different parts of the organisation.
I think the key issue facing retail leaders today is to make sure that they truly understand consumers and have insights that mean that they can develop their retail offer in line with what consumers expect and would like to have delivered. We were beginning to hear about the recession turning around, the green shoots of recovery, and lots of positive messages in the economy. And whilst there are lots of positive messages, we could still observe that consumers felt like they maybe weren't responding in the way in which we'd expect them to. It's very tempting to think that consumers have gone back to pre-recession behaviours, but what we found had happened is they had developed behaviours that they used coping strategies in the recession, and they became entrenched. So people were seeking value beyond price, they were seeking brands that they had an affinity with, actively seeking out discounts, but also looking for little moments of luxury. So it's tempting to think it's all about price, and it's absolutely not.
There's so much change in front of us. You're having to adapt constantly, you're having to learn constantly.
This change is incredibly rapid, and the change comes in many forms. It comes in changing consumer behaviours, it comes in the change that's exerted on retail companies by the competition and also by the external environment.
You've really got to accept that change is constant, and you've got to accept that you will be constantly evolving your strategy, you'll be trying new things to make sure that you're being competitive and being successful.
The programme that I'm heading up is a high activity, a high intensity, big business approach to working collaboratively over 100 locations over a 3-year period with a view to revitalising high streets. We've currently got 7 corporate partners, which are predominantly retailers, who are working constructively with town centre teams, whether they're business improvement districts or just town centre management teams, plus local authorities, to produce and share an action plan to help towards the town's vision.
One of the things we talk a lot with our clients about is the need to be more agile. And that isn't just about being fleet of foot or quick to respond. It's really about thinking, how do we take in all of those things that are going on for our consumers, what's happening in terms of competitors, and what does that actually mean we need to do to adjust to that? They need to really think about how they engage with their people. If they can engage with their frontline colleagues and their frontline staff, then ultimately you're going to get more people staying, more customer loyalty out of that. But it really is about thinking, what's the competition doing and what do we need to do to actually differentiate ourselves? And that's incredibly difficult.
And for me, being a great retailer, being a great retail leader is about three things for me. It's about having some vision. It's really about people. I can't emphasise that point enough. You've got to be able to lead, engage, inspire small and then large groups of people on a constant basis. And then finally for me, it's about really being able to get things done.
Everyone's grown up with Topshop. We've got a lot of love and loyalty in the UK. You go to a new country like the US and you start small. The awareness is much lower, and you've got to build your brand from the ground up.
The demands on retailers is ever growing, getting ever more complex, and one of the big challenges for me is how each of the retailers then responds to that. The world is becoming ever more fragmented, which has got to be seen to be a good thing, but delivering to those wide-ranging, ever-increasing range of needs and wants of customers is the challenge, and aligning a business model to those wide-ranging demands is, I think, the biggest challenge that retailers face.